Hello Mayhem Makers, I'm Mindy with Quilting Mayhem and welcome back to another Mindy's Monday Tips. Today we're talking about getting organized. Oh my gosh, there is just so much coming and I don't know if you're like me, but I'm not ready. So today I thought we'll talk about how to get our lives organized, our sewing stations organized, all those kinds of things. So hopefully we'll get you guys kind of in view and seeing what's going on. So I've spent a long time today just trying to figure out how to get all my papers and notes into one thing. Because I don't know, I got a lot going on. I know you're surprised. And I know I've talked about the Quilter's Planner. The more I'm using this, the more I love it. And I have already had a request from somebody to do monthly posts about the planner to keep you guys going with being organized and just using this planner to its ultimate ability. So I think that's going to be added to the to-do list. So what's nice is I can take all these pieces of paper and throw them away and just get organized within the planner, because not only does it have, you know, your monthly calendar, and I've already started writing my notes, but then I chose what they call a dot layout. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's just this little dots like a grid. This way I have flexibility. I don't have to commit to on Monday doing ABC and on Tuesday doing XYZ, because my days are a little more mayhem than that. So I like that I can just make a list. I essentially can do my to-do list. Here's what I want to tackle. I can cross things off as I go, and then I can just move things on to the next week that didn't get done. Because I'm not going to try to fool you and say, yeah, it all gets done. Yeah, no, we know better. We do have it in 2 different colorways, and we do have an affiliate link. There's all kinds of choices. You can go to Quilter's Planner and you can pick your cover design and your layout, because there is other styles also. There is a horizontal view where instead of the grid you do get, so this is the dot, you can do actual like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you need a little more structure, or you know you need to get, you know, your actual daily calendars down, maybe your appointments and those kinds of things. You do a lot of appointments that you want to keep straight. We have both options. So you can get this cover in either the dot or the horizontal, or you can get this cover in the dot or horizontal here. You can come see them, touch them, see what they're all about before you buy them. That's what's kind of nice. That's why we decided to bring them in, is because we do think they're awesome, but we understand you want to actually physically see it before you buy it. So they are here in the store. You can come check them out. And then if there's just a different cover or different layout style, there's like 4 different styles, you can go to Quilter's Planner through our link and order custom to your liking. Okay, but I will start doing posts. Maybe we'll do monthly check-ins like, hey, let's do our goal planning, let's start figuring out our lives, because I definitely need that. I think it'll be good for me to run that check-in with you guys, because I need that check-in with myself. So we'll stay posted on that, because January's like 2 weeks away. It's a little scary. We do also have the Quilter's Planner design book and 2 different cover styles. Same thing, you can go pick different styles. They have all kinds of different options. What's nice about the design book, it's not a calendar. It is taking away that whole calendar portion, but letting you plan out your projects. So maybe if you've joined our 2022 UFO challenge and you want to start getting all those old projects done, or even you have new projects coming that you want to have a little more organized, there's fabulous checklists. So due dates, projects, have you done your cutting, have you pieced it, all those kinds of things, all those checklists are right here. And actual planners for full projects. Maybe you want to create your own layout. Maybe you don't follow the instructions fully and you want to be able to kind of design it yourself and customize it. That's all in here. There's not only actual quilt planner so you can talk about your fabric choices and those kinds of things, or there's just plain pages with different styles of layout. You know, you have your dot grid. I don't know how well you'll see all of them, but then further on there's your regular kind of graph paper. There's even, I believe there's like triangles and hexes. Yeah, there we go. All kinds of good stuff. So if calendars aren't your thing, or maybe that 2020 calendar kind of burned you and you're still a little salty about that, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Maybe look at the design book. Once again, we have them in the store. You can check them out, see what it's all about. But a great way just to start making lists. What do you want to get done? What needs to be done? What do you want to think about even tackling? Maybe we have some sew-along coming up that you want to be organized for. All great ways to keep that going. And we'll do some check-ins. We'll just kind of keep you guys rolling, make sure you're looking at what you got going on and keeping you on task. And like I said, you know, especially if you're doing that 22 UFO challenge, that's a great way to tackle a bunch of projects that maybe are sitting there calling your name and you haven't quite gotten them done. That UFO 2022, you can find it on our website. You make a list of at least 12 projects. I don't know that. I know there's some of you out there. Somebody's going to speak up and say, I don't have that many. I'm proud of you, because I'm not that guy. I have more than 12. 12 would be easy to make a list of. Plus, I believe there's 5 bonus spots. So you make your list of 12. Every month we tell you which one to tackle, get done. It's a great way just to make it through that pile, because I have a lot of piles that are even just blocks are done. The top just needs to get put together, or heck, the top's done and it just needs to get quilted. And there it sits. So great way to make sure you actually are tackling those throughout the year. You have an entire year to work through that process. So highly recommend the UFO challenge. It's a great way to do it. We're going to do a better job of getting them posted of everybody who's done finishing, and so you can kind of see everybody else and what they're getting done, and just build that community of quilty finishers. We're going to get there. And then, of course, started thinking about my sewing room, and how crazy it really is, and how organized it really should be. And so I thought I'd kind of go through some of the products that we have here in the store that I would recommend, or maybe you need to put it on your Santa wish list and say, hey, I'd love to see this under the tree or in my stocking, or you're just ready to get organized. You just need to tackle that room. So we'll go through some stuff, and I'm going to start with just even some of the fun little stuff. This guy, oh my gosh. So it's called Stash and Store. This is a bigger size. They do come in a smaller size also, but it just has this fun little mesh in there, and you can just stick scissors. Katie sent me a picture of hers. It has like her oil pen in there. You can have your highlighters, your Sharpies, your scissors, anything that's just, you just stick it in and move it around. I love it. So definitely, I got a little one and I love it. It's just right there, and so anything I'm using right at the moment, it's just living right there nearby, and it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it doesn't get all clustered. Like, I have the jar of stuff and I can't find what I need because it's now all tangled up. And these friction pens, if you're like me and you're looking at that calendar and going, I don't know that I want to write in pen in my calendar, friction pens, they're erasable. They erase or heat erase. If you want a whole page gone, just stick a dry iron on that bad boy, all the handwriting's gone. So this is definitely what I'm using in my calendar, is all the different friction pens in the different colors, so I can kind of color code what's going on, so I have a clue at a glance. And Friction now has erasable highlighters. So this one's a fun kind of peach color. We have them in a couple different colors, but I mean, highlight with erase. You know, there's times that I've felt like I actually wanted to erase some highlight where I've been a little over aggressive. So it's a nice function to have, especially if you're talking that you may want to take out entire sections of your calendar because things change like they do here at all kinds of short notice. So that is a nice feature for Friction. So we have all of that here. Oh my gosh, Kimberbell, if you haven't seen their new cute tape dispenser. Paper tape. So if you do machine embroidery, this paper tape dispenser, it is weighted. This thing is not going anywhere. So if you're using the paper tape for your machine embroidery, it is so fabulous that it's just on a dispenser. Because I don't know how many rolls of paper tape I've lost, because it's just a little roll, and it's just loose if you don't have a dispenser. I mean, this guy just, it hides everywhere, and it gets stuck to things, and lint gets stuck to it, and like I said, you lose it. You lose it a lot. So they finally have this fabulous guy. Great thing to put on that wish list. Recommended stocking stuffer. Kimberbell's tape dispenser. Another thing Kimberbell's come out with that I love for keeping organized. Oh my gosh, I thought this was a game changer. Slap bands. Remember slap bands back in the day, and you slapped it on your wrist, and oh my god, you slapped your friends, all that kind of stuff. They now have them. Each one is color coded to match their stabilizer. Has it on there, like this says ultralight cutaway, or this says wash away sticky back. It's blue because it's wash away. It's the darker color because it's more aggressive. It's fabulous. And if you buy a pack, you get one of each. And you don't have to worry about trying to track down it's stabilizer with sticky notes and rubber bands. That's how I used to do it. And then the rubber band got gross on it, or broke and snapped you, and the sticky note ran away. Slap bands. You peel it off, use your stabilizer, slap it back on. I love these. And who doesn't like to slap? I think that's the most fun part of it. It's kind of like bubble wrap. It just makes a fun noise. So those are a couple of the Kimberbell things that I just love. I had so much fun just going around the shop going, what do we have that are like getting organized? And it kept going. This collection of stuff is fabulous. So I'll have the most organized sewing room in 2022 than anybody. These little rotary cutter cases. We have them in a couple colors. Love these. They've been super popular, hard to keep in stock, but we got some in. I love it. It has the elastic here to keep your cutter in, and then you have your little pocket to keep all kinds of different things. I've got like pins in here. You can have your seam ripper, but when you're going to classes or retreats, if you're one of our gals, does a lot of retreats, gals or guys, either one of you, this is the way to do it. Put your other scissors, snips, all of that, zip it up. It is a hard case, so you're not crushing what's in it, which is very important, because sometimes you put stuff in there, and especially like scissors and things, you don't need them poking out at you. So it's got a nice hard case to keep everything nice and secure. So rotary cutter case, definitely another thing to have if you're doing a lot of traveling with your cutting utensils and those kinds of things. And then, speaking of storage, oh my goodness, there's so many. I've even got some on the floor because there's just so many. We've had these for a while because they're just awesome. These are for storing your jelly rolls. If you do the jelly roll race in September, where you just love jelly rolls because they're just gorgeous and fun, it has these guys that keep your jelly roll in there. So you unwrap it, lay it in there, and then slide these on, and they keep them from bouncing around in the bin, especially if, once again, if you do a lot of retreats and classes. This is what's going to keep them from slouching or wadding up or just getting all nasty. Or even if you're one of those people who cut all your fabrics into scraps when you're done, I know some of you are out there and you're taking your leftovers and you're cutting them into strips and making your own jelly rolls and all that kind of stuff. Great way to keep all that organized. Or you can even use it just for all your goodies, all your cutters and all that kind of stuff. If you need a lot of space to store that, that's another great way to do it. And then, as far as bins go, well, here, we'll go to the newest fun one. Oh my gosh. Anything with the word super. Super satchel. We have a couple different types of bins. We do have a shorter version of this guy, but I mean, this is insane. And it has this drawer, and it has dividers. I can put everything in here. This is like your new best friend, right? You're going to an event. You're just trying to hide everything that's laying all over your table. This is the way, I mean, look at this. Here. They're going to think I'm amazing because there's not going to be a mess over here. And it's just all the goodies, all of them. So, super satchel, or we do carry the regular satchel, which is about half this size. But I love this because this does have the additional drawer and then a deeper space down below, or you can take the drawer out and just load it up. If you're trying to get all those quilts and projects organized, having bins like these, I have a whole bunch of the regular satchels, and that's it. Each project goes in a bin, label the front, and that's how they live for a while until they get done. But they're safe because they're plastic. They're not getting wet. They're not getting dusty and potential rodents and some of that kind of stuff, depending on where your sewing room is. I know some of you are like in garages and he sheds, she sheds, sewing shed. I don't know. Everybody has some fun different spaces over garages, all that kind of stuff. So keeping all your fabric nice and safe and clean, very important. Or me, I just have dog hair, all kinds of dog hair. So great way just to keep your fabric from getting any of those extra elements from getting in your stuff, and it keeps it organized. So you're not pulling out a project later on and going, why is half of it missing? Where did half of it go? Because it got jumbled with something else. So this is one of my go-tos. Satchels for sure. I just stack them up. And then I sometimes pretend they don't exist, but they're organized, right? Hey, you do you, right? OESD finally came out with their own lovely stackers. So these have dividers for your threads. And each stacker has 2 levels. So if you're using like ice core, it's a great way to store them. You're gonna get 20 per stacker, and you can actually add more. Like I could have a second one and just kind of keep stacking up and keep adding threads and to infinity. But I do like this for keeping project threads organized because I have this guy. This is like the tried and true. So this is the 30 spool storage bin. So I have several of these, but I know when I've gone into a project, I've pulled out like 12, 15 spools that no longer live in this, and they're just there. And then they get lost or tangled. So it's nice to have something a little smaller that you can do project specific. Or once again, if you're trying to keep your projects organized, have your threads together, have your fabric with your pattern together, and it's just all ready to go. That's my key. Having it ready so that when you are ready to do that project, you sit down and you're not spending half the day going, I gotta clean my sewing room before I can sew because I can't find anything. So to get more sewing done, we gotta be a little more organized, right? So great spool options for keeping your threads organized, because I know you embroidery people. I know you have lots of thread, lots and lots of thread. I hear you. All right. Then, of course, talking projects, there are other ways. We do have our lovely Quilting Mayhem project bags. We have kind of a medium size. This one is 12 by 13. And then we have the Mega. I love this guy because it comes with a handle. You can put a lot of fabric in here. If you've bought some of our kits, you may have received one of these bags as part of the kit. But otherwise, you know, if hard plastic containers aren't quite your jam, or maybe your projects aren't that big, these are definitely a great way to go also, because you can stuff your pattern, all your fabrics, everything in there, and then just have them ready to go. That's how I have a lot of my projects. They're just in bags, waiting for me to find time. Not sure where I'm going to find that time, but we're going to create time by being more organized. We're going to spend less time cleaning our room every time we want to sew and more time just sewing, right? That's the goal. We'll get there. Another fabulous storage is Handy Quilter has this ruler bag. So if you do a lot of ruler work, like we do with the Handy Quilter and the Westerly and the Angela Walters rulers and all that, this is just a great way to keep them stored because it is nice and padded. So you don't have to worry about it being super flimsy and having damage occur to your rulers. Oh, and you gotta love the phrase, what I make with my hands, I give with my heart. Just making sure I quote it right. So, in your traditional, I love that Handy Quilter is purple like us. A lot of purple here. So, this is a nice one. It's kind of a canvas exterior, and then that padded, but like I said, you just put all your rulers in there, and then you can go to classes and all of that, or just keep them organized. You take your bag, you store it in a drawer, and you know that all your rulers are in one place and not floating around your studio. Because that's what happens to me. I go to try to find a ruler, and who knows where it went. Because they do. They get sneaky. They slide everywhere. They hide everywhere. The last thing, I think I've actually gotten to the end, yay, is the Bernina travel case. So if any of you Bernina people that have feet and stitch regulators and walking feet and all those kinds of things just floating around your room, or once again, I have drawers of stuff that it's just a hodgepodge mess, and I have to dig through to find anything. Get the accessory case. This is the accessory travel case was designed by a Bernina sewist. Not just Bernina, they actually had a Bernina dealer come up with this creation. So you know it's by somebody who actually uses a Bernina machine and wants to keep their things organized. And I love that it even has compartments to hold things in. You know, so your walking foot can get stored here, your stitch regulator can be stored here, stitch plates, and then it's got dividers. So in the divider you can have your needles, there's little mesh pockets, and then there's zipper pockets and more elastic, all these things. This is just, oh my gosh. And then this is for feet. Look at all the feet that you can have in here. And they're all protected in a nice foam, so that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry that your plastic soled foot's gonna get crushed. It's all nice and safe, and the divider pulls out. You can pull that tray out and then store more. I mean, you could have all the feet and store them, and there's a spot for your buttonhole foot, and there's a spot for bobbins, and oh my gosh. So this guy is fabulous. When I saw this, they just brought it out a couple of years ago. It's fairly new, and I was just over the moon because everything's compartmentalized. It has all this nice foam to keep it all nice and safe, and then you just zip it up and you take it with you. So those of you especially doing lots of retreats or classes, I'm telling you, a lot of these goodies, this is what's going to make your classes and retreats the most successful, so that you don't get there and go, oh, I need that foot? Oh, I forgot it. Or, oh, I have that at home, I just didn't think I was going to need it, because you change your project, or you have a friend that needs something and you have that foot at home. All those things, this is what's going to keep you organized, and you don't have to worry about running home 2-3 times a day going, and this, and that, and this, and oh, and where'd that pattern go for that project? Oh, why can't I find my rotary cutter? All those things. These are the tools that are going to get you organized for 22. That's our goal. It's going to be a new year. Things are getting better. We're getting more classes and sew-alongs and retreats. We have 4 retreats next year. Just all the things. So many things that I'm excited for us to get back to and not have to worry about being shut down and not have to do it again. So it's going to be a good year. We're excited. We're getting ready. Like I said, this calendar, this guy, this is going to keep me hopefully a little more sane, at least in 22, as I keep making sure all my events and all my things I'm going to have ready for you guys is all right here. So I'm excited for a new year. I hope you guys are excited for a new year. And as I say, let me know if there's anything else you want me to be teaching you, showing you, any other concerns with classes or events, or things you just want to see. What do you want to see in the new year? We have subscriptions coming. We have so many things. Embroidery sew-alongs, quilting sew-alongs, the quilt coats, all that kind of stuff. We're trying to get everything. We're trying to get all the little parts for you guys. You know, the garment sewers and the embroiderers and your quilters and. We're here for you. We want you to be able to learn and expand everything and just have a fabulous year. So until next week, and the holidays are coming, so we'll see how next week goes. We'll get there. You guys just keep on stitching and have a fabulous Monday.